Keeping the focus on our southern border as President Biden planned to roll back Title 42 continues to creep closer. For more on this, let's welcome in Staff Lieutenant with the Texas Highway Patrol, Christopher Olivarez. Sir, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Hi, Chris. I'm not sure the administration fully understands the impact of rolling back Title 42. I mean, every concerning border statistic and number has been absolutely shattered. How much worse can this get?
Well, I mean, that's a good question, right? And obviously, they're not taking into the consideration of the local, smaller border communities, the ranchers, the law enforcement has to deal with this crisis day in and day out. I just came back from Eagle Pass, and some of that video that you saw there just earlier, I was actually there and witnessed those large groups coming across, 150 plus coming across that border each day throughout the day. So it's continuing to compound, just like Jason mentioned there earlier too as well. So even with Title 42 in place, we're still seeing historic numbers on top of historic numbers that we saw even last year. But we do know for a fact, just by talking to our partners on the ground, Border Patrol, our state troopers, our intel, if Title 42 is completely rescinded, we're going to see double the numbers than what we're seeing right now. So upwards up to 18,000 a day. And remember, take into account too, we're just talking about the ones that are coming across trying to seek asylum. We're not even talking about the gotaways. We're not talking about the drugs, the criminals that are coming across as federal resources are depleted because they're having to deal with the constant processing of the families and children that are coming across our border each day.
Yeah, sir, let's talk about the drugs, because that's something I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. And we know about the amount of drugs and fentanyl seized, but not the amount that's got in. And, you know, if Title 42 is rolled back, we're going to see not only more people, as you mentioned, but more drugs, more overdose deaths. Basically, the president is allowing this to happen. What are you seeing, and what do you expect us to be seeing with this, with the crisis with drugs here in the United States?
Right. So we know for a fact that when the criminal organizations, the smuggling organizations are smuggling families and unaccompanied children across that border, it's distracting. It ties up resources, important resources. Border Patrol is tied up with these individuals performing rescues. And what that does, it exposes vulnerabilities along the border where you have these transnational criminal organizations smuggling drugs, smuggling criminals, smuggling high-profile immigrants that are coming across from other countries, suspected terrorists. But when we talk about the drugs and fentanyl, I'll just put this in perspective for you. On the state side, as far as DPS, what we have been able to do ever since last year with Operation Lone Star, which is an initiative launched by Governor Greg Abbott, we have seized over 1,300 pounds of fentanyl, which is over 340 million lethal doses that we've been able to seize.
That's crazy.
And these are drugs, right? And just mind you, these are drugs that are not being seized at the ports of entry, at the checkpoints. These are drugs that already made it past that point. These are drugs that are being smuggled in cars on the main highways, the main corridors that try to lead into other states. So our state troopers are out there doing an extraordinary job in seizing these drugs, because we know every single drug that we're able to seize, whether it's fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine, those are potential lives saved.
Unbelievable.
So really,
Sir, you talked about resources, like about 30 seconds left. Do you think this problem could be solved without additional funding, and if they just let border agents do their job?
it can, and we know that for a fact, and we've heard that from Border Patrol. The issue is that the lax border policies, and they're not taking into consideration providing those resources to Border Patrol so they can do the job, do what they're good at by being on those front lines. But that's why the state of Texas, we're having to fill those gaps and come in and fill those vulnerabilities along the border, because they're just constantly overwhelmed because of the constant families that are coming across and the mass immigration that's coming across our borders.
So it's political will, it's not officer ability. Lieutenant Chris Olivarez, we appreciate you being here, sir. Keep up the good fight.
Yeah, thank you for everything you do.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.